This is the reality. From the bottom of my heart, I ask all my brothers and sisters to really wake up and do what they can for the ummah. And my final advice is for the ulama and the mashayikh and the leaders of this ummah. To the ulama and the mashayikh and the leaders of this ummah, my advice is for them to come together and have a clear idea what they want to do. We are working, all of us, in different fields. We're working, all of us, in different spheres, different organizations pulling in different ways. It doesn't really help much. It helps when we work together. It helps when we complement each other. We don't have to be under one body, but Allah, that's not required. What is required, however, is to complement each other and support each other. Is to find out what each other's visions are and to support that. And by Allah, to my mashayikh and my ulama, my advice for you all is to become true leaders. Just because you're a sheikh doesn't make you a leader. A leader is a servant of his people. A leader is a visionary. A leader is someone who does the action and shows by his values. Just because you're a sheikh, you can't be a leader. Don't assume leadership just because you're a sheikh. Prove it with your actions. Prove it with your vision. Prove it with the advice that you give the shabab. Guide the shabab because they don't have a clarity of vision. Guide them towards what you want them to do and where you want them to go. Something that is devoid of self-benefit. Something that is clearly towards the benefit of this ummah. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Wallahi alladhi la ilaha illahu, if we spend our time struggling for the cause of this deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make our lives very, very beautiful. Let me tell you a little bit about my life. A few months ago, it was very difficult. Very difficult. Working as a medical doctor, living in Australia, trying to make ends meet, trying to find enough money to look after the rent and the family, trying to provide for the ummah and whatever it needs, doing the medical work, at the same time as doing the da'wah work as much as possible. It was a nightmare. Nightmare, wallahi. The health suffers, as you can see. The body suffers, the mind suffers, everything suffers, wallahi. But by Allah, the one who perseveres, Allah has amazing life for him. My life now, I'm sure if you knew how great my life is now, you would fight me for it. If you knew what is in my heart, how much peace I have, how much thankfulness I have, how much happiness I have in my heart, you would fight me for it. Because by Allah, there is nothing like working for the cause of Allah. Every day I wake up and all that's on my mind is Allah and His cause. Every day I wake up and all I wake up to is perhaps a meeting for a mercy mission work somewhere or a phone call from a brother who needs something regarding the da'wah. Can you imagine that? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made my sleep and my waking time all for His cause. And this is by Allah a mercy from Him. This is not praising myself, wallahi, but this is by asking and telling you about what is happening to me, asking you to make similar choices for your own life. Because we all can work for the hereafter by Allah. It only needs a little bit of courage. Yes, my pay scale has taken a hit. Yes, I have less money now than I had before. Yes, I have a bit more difficulty in that regard. But by Allah, Allah gives in other ways you cannot imagine. Allah gives in ways you cannot imagine. Allah gives ease. Just by moving to a different country, my cost of living is almost half. I eat the same food. I drive a better car. I live in a better home. I now have home help to come and help my wife at home. I have a Quran teacher that is the cousin of one of the great scholars of Medina teaching my kids Quran. I have all of this now. I never had this before. Verily, I have found in my life that when you take a path in order to help Allah's deen, Allah helps you in ways you cannot imagine. How much would it have cost me to bring a sheikh over from Medina to teach my kids over here? It would have cost me a lot of money. How much would it have cost me to live in the same house somewhere here? My brothers and sisters in Islam, I ask you all to make similar sacrifices for the cause of Allah. Find wherever you are a path to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His deen supreme. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever age you are, make your cause only for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Work for the hereafter. Verily this dunya will come running to you, I promise. Our Shaykh Jafar, he told me many times, Ya Tawfique, do what you love, money will follow. Wallahi, I'm doing what I love and money is following me. I do what I love and I have enough of money, alhamdulillah. And I'm not going hungry, now is my family going hungry. The biggest thing that I have found that used to shackle me and probably shackles others is fear. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear at all except Allah Azza wa Jal. Bravery is to overcome fear. How can you be brave unless you overcome fear? Are you saying, I don't have fear in my own heart when I do something? I have so much fear by Allah, but I overcome it with tawakkul on Allah. I overcome it by thinking about the consequences. I overcome it by depending on Allah and by reading Quran and by saying my salah. I overcome my fear, my brothers and sisters. So must you overcome your fear. Do not be afraid of loss of wealth. Do not be afraid of poverty. Do not be afraid about Allah that your family will give up on you. Continue in this path and never give up. Believe me, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written 50,000 years before we were created how much wealth and how much money we will get. And by Allah, we will not pass away until every bit of this wealth comes to us. No one here will die until we get exactly what Allah has written for us. So my brothers and sisters in Islam, it doesn't matter by Allah. It doesn't matter you live here or you work for this company or that company. The provider is the same. The provider is the same. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe this in your heart. And the stronger you believe in it, by Allah, the stronger you become.